Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem, HaRakah, the bonus that older apostles, great millstone that rule well, and Shalom to the brothers in the wax, Syrian truth. Uh, yeah, you've had the continual escalation over time of Trump just kind of deploying, the National Guard, deploying the troops and sending them out into the different towns. And, the focal point, at this moment is Chicago. And obviously with that it's a Jake stronghold, and within America, which then is basically just highlighting again that focus on Jake, on Israel. Because the other side of it is obviously ICE, where they're saying, oh, the illegals, the immigrants, whatever, where they're mainly just looking at uh the Northern Kingdom, so-called South Americans or Mexicans or whatever that entered the U.S. illegally. That's been the big push, and then inner city crime, which started in like D.C. has been the other side. So these things are escalate. It's all coming to a boil, and then depending on the scale it gets to, you can have a big back and forth happen as well between these, between them. Big back and forth, man. Big back and forth. And what, we're just watching to see, the scope it kind of gets to. Because it can easily be something where, the shit just pops off. Who even knows? So as on AP News, it says what National Guard members from Texas are in Illinois in Trump's latest move to send troops to seize. This is what National Guard members from Texas were getting settled at an Army Reserve Center in Illinois on Tuesday, the most visible sign yet of the Trump administration's plan to send troops to the Chicago area despite a lawsuit and vigorous opposition from Democratic elected leaders. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, was that geezer? Let's say federal judge. No human is illegal. No. Who has accused President Donald Trump of using troops as political props and pawns, said he didn't get a heads up from Washington, and he's not wrong. They are pawns. That's the role of a soldier. They're basically instructed to follow instructions and then make military be a military device to fulfill the desires of whoever they're serving. We're the soldiers of Yahweh Shai, or our warfare's not carnal, it's spiritual. Where we're teaching, doing the lessons. These are the things we're doing in the spirit to contend. Esau deals with the carnal troops, where these guys go out and then have National Guard, cracking heads if need be, patrolling, etc. Says the Associated Press saw military personnel in uniforms with the Texas National Guard patch at the U.S. Army Reserve Center in Elwood, 55 miles southwest of Chicago. Trucks marked emergency disaster services pulled in and out, dropping off portable toilets and other supplies. Trailers were set up in rows, extra fencing was spread across the perimeter. The Guard's extra mission was not immediately clear, though the Trump administration has an aggressive immigration enforcement operation in the nation's third largest city, and protesters have frequently rallied at an immigration building outside Chicago and Broadview. The president repeatedly has described Chicago in hostile terms, calling it a hellhole of crime, although police statistics show significant drops in most crimes, including homicides. And it's funny because even with just having watched like something like The Wire, you can see like a lot of those it's well, even a better example would be the what the fuck was it, the unemployment numbers in the US, where you had Trump sack someone a few weeks back because of the numbers that he got, like, you know, on unemployment. And then even with, you know, you go into how they actually break it down, is you're getting nothing near the full picture for if you were to just go off just the, you know, the numbers they give you with the what's it called, with the fucking unemployment numbers. So, you know, that's just the unemployment. So then as far as with these crime numbers, you know, like I said, a show like The Wire shows there's a vested interest in ensuring that, you know, the crime statistics show up a certain way, where they might instead, you know, elevate the classification of certain crimes that, you know, they aren't able to crack down on, so they can say, okay, we've got more shut cases, or then, you know, intentionally kind of not classifying certain things that they're not dealing with, and then the actual situation isn't reflected in the statistics. But that's, you know, kind of the worth of numbers in this age anyway. Now those things are basically tools, you know, for whatever you want to accomplish or achieve, or kind of image you want to have. Because that's like, you know, the unemployment going down, that's just part of the, oh, the economy's booming. The stock market's going up, XYZ's going up, you know, everyone's got jobs, blah, blah, blah. You know, meanwhile, it's meant to be one of the most dire environments on earth, you know, for uni graduates, you know, presently, where it's like the majority of people aren't getting work in their field, and you know, most people are having to work, you know, they're getting their ass to McDonald's, to MacD's. So it says Trump's bid to deploy the military in U.S. soil over local opposition has triggered a conflict with blue state governors. Illinois and Chicago are urging a federal judge to intervene and stop Trump's long-declared war on the state. A court hearing on their lawsuit is scheduled for Thursday. In Oregon, a judge over the weekend blocked the guards' deployment to Portland, Oregon. So yeah. As far as with the courts, you know, they're saying they're going to block it, but then, you know, the court's been stacked in Trump's favor already. So, you know, the reality of if that's going to be able to obstruct anything, you know, ain't going to be shit, really, is what I'm expecting. Because same thing with ICE and the deportations. Like, a lot of that ain't going nowhere. So it was a state. So they're urging a federal judge to intervene. Let me just see if it was a local judge or a federal one. Or federal judge, okay. He might be cooked. He's got to think about his career. But yeah, let me read this. Jeremiah 30:6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but you shall be saved out of it. And yeah, that's the heights of what, you know, is getting pushed forward towards, man. The time of Jacob's trouble, man, where Jake especially is going to be catching intense hell, man. It's going to be a supreme struggle, for Jake out here. And you know, it's as far as when you go to, you know, DJ Trump, this guy is basically shown his horns are come out, and then, you know, the direction of where that eye is being directed is going straight to, you know, the northern and southern kingdom, which, you know, means dire times are incoming. And then, you know, if you know the prophecies, you know that a certain level of chaos and confusion must abound. Because why? They're looking to bring in that mark, man. And that's where it's all pushing. Them technologies already, you know, in play. You know, people having chips jammed in their head, man. So as far as it's already at that, you know, it's already there. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.